Welcome to another episode of Dietitian Life, as it stands. So I will start. So what has my week looked like? I missed the other week, so it was a shame.
Is that about what you've done this week? Are you telling us about your week?
Yeah, because I'm reflecting on it. It's been an unusual week with middle of the week being missed out with Anzac Day. So that was pretty cool. But my babysitter's been away all week, unfortunately. So I've had to rely on a couple of extra babysitters to look after my little one. So I haven't actually worked a lot this week. But we've had a few cool stuff happening this week. So today I had another meeting with some specialists talking about our services again. It's always really challenging, I find, because you never really know what they want you to be like. So I consider myself to be a little bit of a chameleon when it comes to presenting myself to specialists alike. So in that situation, I suppose today it was very serious. So I had to come across knowing my shit. And like I've said to you before about making sure you research the people that you're going to go and see, I actually didn't meet anyone specialist today. I actually met the practice manager. So
you didn't meet anyone? You
no.
just talked to the practice manager?
So if that's the case, I definitely don't have time to catch up, but still I had to own that. Otherwise I wasn't going to get through. It's like the gatekeeper. Anyway, I think it went really, really well. We've started a new thing on Insta for Dietitian Life this week as well too. So my new practice tip of the day, which you'll have to follow and check us out on Instagram, Dietitian Life.
Dietitian.life.
Yeah, I was going to stick that in there. So follow that because it's going to be everything to do with being a dietitian, making yourself a better dietitian. It could be ideas about clients, all the above. That was Tyson's idea. Just following through with it. So what else this week? Again, I've travelled. So I went to Brisbane, on the outskirts of Brisbane anyway, to sit in on a seminar and talk to clients about what we do. Try and get a bit more business that way. Spent a lot of time on the phone to him because he's been away again. We had pretty awesome stuff, but I'm not going to steal your thunder when it comes to talking about that. Well, we got this.
Go, show it. You gotta lift it up.
It's the Logie. It's pretty cool. So Tyson went to the Australian Small Business Championships Awards this last weekend, and I really didn't think that we were actually going to get it, just quietly.
She's so...
But you never know. As we sort of said, there was always going to be that unknown who was going in for it. You also sat in a group of people and talked about random business stuff as well.
Me? Yeah, the one guy was sitting next to me. That was super weird. Just sat down and just handed me a business card. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I think he sold phones. But then his wife turned out to be a dietitian.
Oh yeah, go figure.
Now from South Australia. And then one of the other guys who was near me was like British, and he liked football. So I talked about soccer for
and then you ended up getting massive mouth ulcers because of food intolerances, and has been unable to have perfect speech for the rest of the week.
Like everyone saw on Snap, me swearing at myself about how bored, and like it's still there now. Like I'm still talking like an idiot. I can feel it.
No, it's not as bad as the
Not as bad, but goddamn it hurts.
Yeah.
So pretty much this award, we were nominated, had us fill out an application, talk about a heap of different stuff in regards to the business, and then went to the awards night in Sydney, and there's different awards for every kind of industry, and ours is the Health Improvement Services Award. So it was the best business in Australia in the Health Improvement Services category.
The best.
Which is kind of pretty cool. Kind of pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really good, but he won't take the acknowledgement, and again, it's probably not important to do that because it actually isn't really about. It's about the business.
Yeah.
So.
Not me.
Yeah.
Part. But
you're like the gatekeeper, same thing. So we're actually going to display this here at Sunshine Coast Dietetics. Have it on
At our
us.
hub.
Yeah, have it on
Don't
us.
know where yet, but
Mm.
need to get a lot more awards if I'm going to create a shelf.
But you also didn't really have a good speech because you hadn't really prepared.
I didn't know there was a speech. I thought I was just going to like walk
Like
up,
the
shake your hand.
Logies!
Yeah, I thought I was like shake your hand and then I just walk off stage awkwardly. But not that many people had prepared one, but then some people, holy crap, did they? You can tell they prepared.
But how cool is it, as dietitians, how rare is it for us in our profession to actually be part of something like this? And it just shows you that doesn't matter what business you're in, you can still do great things.
Yeah, what industry, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that's having an impact on like a national scale.
Yeah, it's cool.
I was still trying to reinforce it to him because he's
Yeah.
not actually taking it on board.
Yeah,
It's like,
shit.
whatever. Didn't win. I didn't
My
win.
mother, and other people are like, oh, it's so good though. I'm like, yeah, it's okay. I don't feel like it changes anything that we do.
I didn't say it changed.
I know, but like at the same time, it was like when I reflected on what my speech could have been, I was having a speech with a talk with the Uber driver on the way in, and he was just like, yeah, we went for an award when I owned my business, then it went under, and then I went, oh, okay, cool, and then he was like, well, it doesn't matter if you win or if you lose because it's not really going to change what you do, but it's good to get the acknowledgement. So that's pretty much how I feel about it.
This is
It's
like
awesome.
perfectionism to the T for dietetics. Here we go. Nothing is good enough. Everything I need more. Which leads me to other discussions I've had this week. So I currently mentor 5 dietitians, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, keeps me busy. So a lot of the time I spent on the phone. And
Officially mentor.
Yeah.
But unofficially 30 plus.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so these dietitians, I have a lot of time for them. I think they're great, and they're going to be really good dietitians. They really are really good dietitians already. But with my guidance, they could be great. So.
I was gonna say, is that because of you?
So I was having a chat to this dietitian who was now sort of finishing up with my mentoring partnership, and she was really, upset that we were finishing up, and she wanted to still keep close contact because she's found it really difficult to interact with and get along with a lot of dietitians in the profession. And we talked about some commonalities with our profession in general, being perfectionists, often rife with the night stages, obviously a lot of anxiety because they're not achieving that perfection that they wanted to, sort of very self-motivated, very driven, which can either kind of go like this or it can go like this, So if you can't deal with all of that, we've talked about these things in the past around stress management and worry and putting too much pressure on yourself, making sure you've got outlets, blah, blah, blah. And, this girl that I was talking to, she obviously struggles with that, like we all do, and she felt that there was not a lot of conversation about that in our industry, and Tyson's already tried to open up that conversation previously.
About mental health.
Yeah, in general. Yeah, whether it be anxiety or depression, all the above, but I guess interesting conversations to have, particularly for students when they are starting out and there's that degree of the unknown. I think you can either go under and you've never really been supported, like all of our amazing dietitians are being well supported, but even still with that, the support can sometimes not be that valuable. And when we're starting out and quite vulnerable, particularly when we're at uni, we've talked about things in the past where Tyson's had the lecturer that he's like stuck it to him for, ongoing, take that. And, this girl and I were having a chat about, so things that some people might say off the cuff, which really have a massive impact on our career path. And
So
certainly that this lecturer, who was quite a well-known dietitian at the time, said that she didn't want to be in clinical dietetics anymore because she was sick of feeding obese people.
Feeding the fat is what you said.
Pretty much, yeah. So I was trying to be a little bit more.
But you got to say what she said,
conservative.
not what you want her to say.
And this.
When I tell my story, I say verbatim exactly what that dude said. So
you know what? In this medium, sometimes I don't know what I'm going to say because he stares at me the whole time, and I can just feel the eyes of like, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't say that. So I've always got to kind of cover it just a little bit up. But yeah, so that sort of she can have a massive impact, and obviously for her, she's she took it to heart. In our industry, obviously, as professionals, we should look a certain way. We're perceived that we should look a certain way, be a certain way. We've gone against the norm, having a boss with piercings and
tattoos.
That potentially we shouldn't look like that. And the same instance, if there's someone that's obese or fat or carrying a lot of weight as a dietitian, then maybe there's stigma associated with that.
100%.
And luckily, some of those people may not have any comments, but I can guarantee you that there's been plenty of them behind the scenes. And that lecturer, whilst she probably shouldn't have verbalised that, I'm sure that there's been a lot of that backhanded comments behind. And so, as a dietitian, maybe if you are too skinny or you are carrying more weight than what you should, and maybe there's a reason for that, X, Y, and Z. You never know anyone's story, I suppose, but we talked a lot about the stigma associated with.
Talk about rabbit holes, holy crap.
I know, but there's so many avenues for it. So I know that
basically what you're trying to get across is
there is always a stigma associated with being a dietitian and weight.
Yeah.
And whether we actually have our own particular biases on people who have struggled with and are overweight, definitely there's that. And, this dietitian that we spoke about, she has obviously had her own battles with weight and certainly over time has, improved that. But I guess it's just a hard space to be a dietitian, and particularly in the space where you've got mental health issues, etc., potentially playing a part. We were just having conversations about all these things. So it's being a mentor for lots of different things, not just talking about clients, because pretty much that's all we spoke about for the entire time. So,
do you think people use the mentor part of what we have to do as APDs effectively?
Well, I can't comment because I don't really know a lot of dietitians that do a lot of mentoring. The reason why I took on this client, this girl as well, is because nobody else would mentor her, which is kind of shit. They all said they didn't have enough time. So I guess that's probably part of it. And I'm sure that they're not really... There's a lot of shit mentoring partnerships, I'm sure.
Yeah. Did you feel like, well, that's probably putting someone under duress, but in terms of mentoring, I loved who I chose as a mentor, but different industry that they were in than myself. So I didn't feel like I got a lot out of it. At the same time, there was those couple of times where I communicated where it was more from a support and mental health perspective than a clinical perspective. Because I felt like I was sweet with the clinical. I didn't really have a lot of questions about it.
This is how memorable my mentoring partnership was. I don't even remember who it was with.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't put you in it, because I wasn't sure if you knew or wanted to talk about them or not. But and I guess that's why we created the business and the support that we do. We're kind of unofficially mentoring everyone, or having weekly contact with everyone, or everyone's got weekly contact with a senior dietitian every single week. So we're kind of creating that mentor, even though we might not have the time to officially mentor everyone, because sometimes it can take on a lot, and it's also not really appropriate a lot of the time to have your manager or boss to be your mentor if they don't feel like they can honestly say different things.
Yeah, I find it's valuable in this instance. 50% of the people I mentor and I manage them.
But then it can go both ways. And if you have the wrong practitioner, or that it goes, if they're not performing effectively as a staff member, and then turning to their mentor, who's also the person that's saying they're underperforming, then it becomes
I think I'm better placed, but I think it's also the relationship that you have as well. I just think it's extremely valuable, and particularly in our industry, it's quite volatile, and whether it's official or not, it's going to continue to establish really good relationships with people, and particularly with dietitians. And I've found myself personally quite isolated with other dietitians in the past, just because you haven't really clicked. So I've met, there's heaps of dietitians in the company that I've clicked really well with, and I think it's good because it just shows the sort of dietitians that we want to be part of the team are the people that we click with. So it all works quite synergistically.
But at the same time, that's why we hire different people.
Absolutely. And there's some that I've
people that you
I not like that.
You wouldn't get along with.
Hence why I don't mentor those people.
Oh, you're saying you don't like everyone that you don't mentor?
Absolutely not.
No. All right. So what I did. So I was in Sydney to get this. Missed out on the Young Entrepreneur Award, and Peter doesn't want me to say it. She's like, "Oh, perfectionist, more," but that would have been cool as well. Anyway, then I went to Melbourne, and I unravelled this earlier. Basically my to-do list, because I was going to throw it out when I was on the plane on the way here, and I was redoing it because I just do a handwritten one every week. It's just, or a couple of times a week, really.
There's actually not a lot on there, because I kind of sit back and go, what the hell do you do in a week? Because it's actually not a lot.
Yeah,
but
because I remember the rest.
There's so much else between them.
Yeah, so this is just extra stuff on top of the everyday stuff. So I had to do some Vistaprint orders, get some uniforms and stuff, do a resume, my own resume. I had to do a resume for an award, or a grant, I think. It's really hard because I'm not applying for a job, so I haven't done that for a while, so that was difficult. Because in a resume, you should target it to the job that you're going for. So take out stuff that's not relevant and add in stuff or bolster up stuff that is. Sidebar. My day-to-day, what I do, I possibly hired another person for council, which is cool. I just got to send them a contract this afternoon. I came here straight from the airport, so I haven't had a chance yet. Met with Joel Farron. Some of you might know him or not. We'll tag him up probably in this. Runs _nutrition guy on Instagram down in Melbourne. So that was cool. Just had a chat about his journey, similar stuff that we've both gone through, what he's planning, what I'm planning, and hope to get him on Dietitian Life soon. Just had meetings with a bunch of different people, practitioners. A lot of my talks this week, as you probably saw on Snapchat, was around meal plans. So I wrote myself another note because I was super productive this week, and I wrote down my key things that I did this week. And yeah, one of them was about meal plans and helping people with them. And there's so many different ways to actually do it. And there was a couple of people on Snapchat that hit us up and were like, well, how do you actually write a meal plan? Where can we go to improve our skills? And that was actually really hard for me to answer because not many places. I don't really know of anywhere other than, if you're watching a particular topic and then they talk about a meal plan in that. So if they're talking about diabetes and then they happen to do a meal plan in it. But there's not a lot around, all right, if you're given this person's diet history, what meal plan would you create for this person? Not much of that stuff. So we're probably going to do some kind of how-to at some stage about it.
We've actually done a PD on it.
We have done a PD on it within the company. So it's not privy to people outside at this current stage, but we might redo it or post that up, depending on if you guys are keen.
I think a meal plan needs to be individualized, yes, but it also needs to be something that you're happy and content with writing. You don't want to be taking hours. You want it to be efficient. And I guess I would write a different meal plan to the way Tyson writes a meal plan, just because his framework's differently to mine. But you also need to think about the person. So just because his plan might work well for that one doesn't mean that it's going to work well for this one. But I think there's always that, this is yours, this is mine, this is what's working for that client and that individual. But I think there's a lot of things that can be done similarly, even though it might look a little bit different. And I've provided lots of feedback, as has Tyson, on writing a good meal plan, whether it be a day meal plan or a 7-day meal plan. Key things is not a shitload of variety.
I was going to go some key things, but she wants to go shitload of writing. Get rid of your shitload of writing. Yep. Some people, I think there's a few different ways to approach it, but a lot of new grads come out and they pretty much just do kilojoule or calorie based, which I get. I remember that when I first came out, I kind of did the exact same thing, but then you learn that it's unnecessary or not useful, and it just plays into that whole counting calories thing, which we don't really want people to do. So in terms of a meal plan, it would be, some people do it that way. Some people do it according to Australian Guide to Healthy Eating, which we've already talked about in a previous video. We can probably link that up. So
it needs to be prescriptive.
Yeah, prescriptive, but to the point.
Specific.
Prescriptive, specific, and individualized, but targeted at actually achieving the goal. So do not do it for shits and gigs. Don't do it to tick a box or to impress your manager or the client. Like, do it to actually get them results. So a lot of dietitians are just doing it and going, oh, well, I think that's okay. I'll do that because it meets the Australian Guide to Healthy Eating, or it meets my calorie count, but it doesn't actually match the goals of the client, or the client isn't happy with it. You're choosing foods that they've never had before, they've never heard of, or they just don't like. So the best way to do a meal plan when you become experienced, or if you're good at it now, is doing it with the client. I find is the best way, especially for weight management, or at minimum getting their likes and dislikes and then going home actually figuring out based on their likes and dislikes and their goal, and then creating a meal plan.
So for example, don't just write cereal, you need to write specifically how much and what.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just going to write fruit, again, specific, that's not specific.
How much fruit?
Yeah.
A bag of grapes?
Do you want like 10 bananas?
Just fruit.
And if you say meat and vegetables and that's all you put, I think I'm going to throw it out the window. And the other aspect is, say for example, you're going to give them a 7-day meal plan, which is expensive, but it takes a lot of time. Don't just put one foreign ingredient down the bottom and never use it again. So think about the planning of it and the wastage and the preparation. So again, that's probably my take, because I do quite a few
7-day meal plans when there's like 14 different main meals.
So you're going to put ricotta into this and then never use it again. Just stupid, ridiculous, and then you're going to give them recipes and stuff like that as well. So fine, do what you can do, basic ones, but again, it still needs to be achieving the goals. It needs to be meeting their base level of cooking and preparation. If you've got someone who really enjoys flavour and taste and wants new stuff, and they're a woman and they like to cook, but if you've got someone who's like,
they like to cook?
Tell me, all right, fine, well, men too, but generally don't get that. They just tell me what to eat. And so if that's the case, and remember, it's only ever a test run. Sort of like, okay, well, this is what we're going to start with. It doesn't mean that's it. Doesn't mean you never go back to it again. So just because it might be really basic and basic to start with, doesn't mean you can't then change it moving forward or modify it or add a new recipe in. So I've got heaps of clients that say, oh, this is going really well, and I'm of the opinion this is working, don't change it until it's not working anymore. But that includes them not liking it.
Or if it's not working very well, you can improve it.
Yeah, so.
What else I do? Come up with some new ideas for different business stuff. So had a couple of moments where, just had some good ideas, called Peter up, talked through it a little bit. So we'll work through that of late. Not going to tell you it because that's the joy of being in that company. And then, shadow practitioners again, talked about workloads, that kind of stuff, through difficult clients. The back end of the week got a bit interesting, but it's all part of it. I'm a little bit tired, but that's again all part of it. But ultimately, it was a pretty good week. I'll just check to make sure that I actually added in everything that I said.
Fantasy?
NRL fantasy, because I'm kicking butt in that. No, the meal plans, and then it was about getting all of you to freaking subscribe to this YouTube channel. You should subscribe, and then go check out our podcast. But mostly subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like, click the subscribe button now, please. And then the other thing was one of the practice tips. I don't know if Peter's already done this one, but this is one that I told a couple of people, and it's something that I told someone who I interviewed, actually. I did another interview. Learn fast foods. If you do not know, like, the menu...
Then you're an idiot, as Tyson tells you.
Yeah, that's what I said on Snapchat, I'm pretty sure. That's why you did that. So, learn the menus. Like, know how much shit costs, know what's included in different meals, what's available, what options you can swap in and what you can't, and the kilojoule, protein, fat, whatever else you want to utilize to then educate a person. The more information you know, the better you can then serve the client. When they go, nah, I'm only going to eat at Macca's, and you go, nah, you can't do that, you're going to lose that client. So if you're able to give them a better option at Macca's, or Hungry Jack's, or Pizza Hut, or anything else. For example.
Yeah, so Tyson and I went to KFC because he really wanted to go and try out this burger. Anyway, it was tiny. I'm looking at it, I was like, oh shit, is that what they look like these days? So clearly I need to go to KFC more often. But as a kid, I used to get those twister wraps. Yeah, I didn't even hit the spot anymore. It was a shame. But anyway.
As in hit the spot as in taste or size?
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
Yeah. But good perspective. Wouldn't go back. Important.
But you still need to know. So even if you don't eat it, because a lot of dietitians are like, oh, I never eat that. How do you eat that? That is disgusting.
Yeah. If it was good, I would have said it was good without any.
Yeah, but it does not matter, and a client does not give a shit if you like it or not. It's about knowing your market, and most of the market are dietitians, especially in private practice. It's pretty much weight management or chronic disease management as a result of their increased weight. So know the stuff that your clients are eating, try it, test it. If you have to, if you want to, I think you should, just like you test that new product that you find at the supermarket, or you go to that stupid health food place and buy a side bowl. Have the foods that your clients are actually going to eat, so then you can recommend them effectively. Cool. Over and out. That's done. Boom. We won. Yes.